Hello students, welcome in our new session of our new unit, and the name of lesson is quality. Students, we often come across this word quality. When we go to the market, we often look for the good quality material, right? Yes, as well as on the other hand, we often see that many shopkeepers, many other people try to be put the good quality material because they want the proper customer, right? But some others are doing that bargaining, means they easily accept the bargaining. The shopkeepers, I may say, the shopkeepers easily accept the bargaining, means they told that high prices of the material, but later they lowered that price. It means they want only customer, but they never want to put that extraordinary quality of their material. But on the other hand, or contrary, some shopkeepers never lower the prices of their material. Means it means that they had a good quality material and therefore they never try to lower the prices. Right, students? As I think your experience is like me only. So let's go further. Here in this lesson we are going to learn about a shoemaker. He was a really fantastic artist at his time. Okay, he was a Gessler, Mr. Gessler, a German shoemaker, and who actually settled in London, was a perfect artist and who was a perfect shoemaker. So let's read what kind of quality he put in his shoes, okay, and how he was a devotee, and what kind of skill he has, and how he feel very proud of his occupation. All right, students, so let's see, let's begin the lesson quality. Okay, students, let's begin. I knew him, I knew him from the days of my extreme youth. Means what? Because he made my father's boots also. Here author said that, or told us like that. um, the author knew him since his childhood, or you can say boyhood days. And Mr. Gessler was a shoemaker who made his father's boot also, right? He lived with his elder brother in his shop, which was in a small by street in a fashionable part of London. So where that shop was located, it was in London. Two little shops were let into one, and the sign on it read Gessler's brother. Means on that shop there was a big title. And what was that? The Gessler brother, and that shop was settled in the fashionable part of London. The shop had a certain quite distinction. There was no sign upon it other than the name of Gessler Brothers, and in the window a few of pairs of boots. So, like many of markets, we often come across the scene like this, that they put the shirt or clothes in the window of their shops, so that easily customer were get attracted toward the shop. Like that, the Gessler also made the arrangement of boots in the window of his shop. So he made only what was ordered, but his specialty in shoes, and he made only what was ordered. Without order he never want to, or when he never tried to make the shoes. So, and what he made never failed to fit. And he has a specialty: whenever he made the pair of shoes, he never failed to fit. Okay, means always that customer was very satisfied with the material. To make boots, such a boots as he made, seemed to me then, and still seems to me, mysterious and wonderful. Here, author want to tell that he was fully agreed with the Mr. Gessler, who said that making such a boots was an art, and therefore he found that shoes or boots very mysterious and wonderful to wear. Okay, so look at that next para. I remember well my shy remarks one day while stretching out to him my youthful foot. Okay, here author reminds his some remarks while stretching out his youthful foot. Isn't it awful hard to do, Mr. Jesler? And his answer, given with a sudden smile from out of the redness of his beard, it is an art. Means here, student, look at that. The words are like some German words, right? In German accent, you can say, but the meaning of it is that it is an art. Okay, so when the author asked him that, isn't it awfully hard to do that perfect shoes? And what was the answer? The answer was yes. With a smile, that jester, Mr. Jester, that shoemaker, told the author that yes, my dear, it is an art to make that perfect shoes. It was not possible to go to him very often. And here author said that as he made the perfect shoes, and therefore it was not possible to go to him, to he never want to visit him again and again, because once he make that boot fine and fit, then why we should go there, right? Like that. So it was not possible to go to him very often. His boots lasted terribly. Yes, that lasted terribly for a long time, having something. Look at that next page and look at that actually shop of Jesler brother, how they put the fine fine pairs of shoes in the windows. Okay, okay. So here author said that beyond the temporary, some essence of boot stitch into them. Here author said that it is not possible to go to him very often. His boots are lasted terribly, having something beyond the temporary, some essence of boot stitch into them. Means beyond the temporary, that boots are not temporary. If you can buy it from the Jesler shop, that boot or that shoes may last long for a long period. Okay, so like that. So look at that next line. On one went in, not as into most shops, but restfully, as one enters a crutch and sitting on the single wooden chair waited. Here author said that however there is a shop of two brothers. One went in, and not as into most shops, but restfully, as one enters a crutch, as one enters a crutch and sitting on the single wooden chair waited. Okay, and here he said that there are two brothers who own the shop. They did not keep any servants. They did not keep any servant. They did all the works themselves. And on entering the shop, one would find nobody there. There was a wooden chair on which the customer would sit and wait. Then one of the two brothers would appear. He would show the leather and accept the order. Like that only. So a guttural sound and tip tap of his slippers beating the narrow wooden stairs, and he would stand before one without a coat, a little bent, in leather apron, with sleeves turned black, blinking as if awakened from some dream of woods. Here, when writer reached that Jesler's shop, he found that yes, there were two brothers, but on entering the shop, only one brother of them come and ask you to choose the leather and take a measurement of your leg, right, of your feet. Okay, like that only. And it was found for writer that like he was awakened from a some dream of boots. And I would say, how do you do, Mr. Jesler? And often like a gesture. Here, uh, writer also asked that Mr. Gisler to how would you do? How do you do? Could you make me a pair of Russian leather boots? Author asked, could you make me a pair of Russian leather boots? Without a word, he would leave me retiring whence he came, or into the other portion of the shop, and I would continue to rest in the wooden chair, inhaling the essence of his trade. Means what? Without a word, he went inside and come again and come again. Then what about the author noted that all the time the two brothers look at the leather. They seem to be lost in thinking of the leather and the boots. Once the author told Mr. Jesler that a certain pair of boots are creak. Let's see what happened next. When the author went there, he asked about something new, and without answering, he went inside, and Arthur just wait there by taking rest and inhaling the incense of his trade. Soon he would come back holding in his hand a piece of gold brown leather. With eyes fixed on it, he would remark, what a beautiful piece! What a beautiful piece! When I too had admired it, he would speak again. When do you want them? Look at that words. These words are German words, and that meaning is, when do you want them? Means when I make that ready. Okay, I would answer, oh, as soon as you conveniently can. And he would say, tomorrow fortnight. Means he would say that tomorrow fortnight. Yes, or if he were his elder brother, I will ask my brother. Means brother. If he was his elder brother, okay, I will ask my brother, like that only. Then I would murmur, thank you, good morning, Miss Jester, good morning, he would reply, still looking at the leather in his hand. And I moved to the door. I would hear the tip tap of his slippers going up stairs to his dream of boots. Then what happened? In the next day, again author went there to receive the order, and he said that good morning, and again he got the reply of good morning, but he found that he was still looking at the leather in his hand. And as I moved up to the door, I would hear the tip tap of his slippers going upstairs, means at the upper part of his shop. Okay, like that only. Then let's see what happened. I cannot forget that day on which I had occasion to say to him, Mr. Jesler, the last pair of boots creak, you know. And here writer told us that he he didn't forget that day when he told that or he made the reply to the Mr. Jesler, uh, Jesler sir, that last pair of boots creak, you know. He looked at me, and in reply he looked at the author at for a time without replying, as if expecting me to withdraw or qualify the statement. Then said, I it shouldn't have Greek. It means what? I will tell you. It shouldn't have creaked. It shouldn't have creak. Okay, like that only. It did. I am afraid. Okay, it shouldn't have creak. I am afraid. You got them wet before they found themselves. Means you got them wet before they found themselves. Means you made them wet, and therefore maybe they were creaked. Like that only. I'll repeat. Just see. Right. Once the author told Mr. Jessler that certain pairs of boots were creaked. At first, Mr. Jessler found that it was difficult to believe. Means when he looked at the author, he showed that it was difficult to believe. And however, when the author instead he asked insisted when the author actually insisted, he asked him to send that pair back. He promised either to correct them or to take them off the bill. What did he promise? He promised that he will correct that shoes, or he will off the bill of that pair. Okay, like that. So I don't think so. And look at that, this line. At that, he lowered his eyes as if hunting for a memory of those boots, and I felt sorry I had mentioned this grave thing. Send them back means send them back, he said. I will look at them. So, Zoom boots, he continued slowly, are bad breed. If I can do nothing with them, I take them off your bill. What I have told you is, he told that writer that some boots are bad from birth, and if I can do nothing with them, I can them off your bill, means I can reduce the bill of yours. So like that, once um, once only I went absent mindedly into his shop in a pair of boots bought in an emergency at some large firm. He took my order without showing me any leather, and I could feel his eyes penetrating the inferior covering of my foot. At last he said, those are not my boots. Means what? At the end, as author complained to the Mr. Jesler, he was very hurt. The author also felt very sorry for mentioning that. But once the author went to Mr. Jesler's shop, at that time he had on his feet the shoes bought at some other firm. And that day Mr. Jesler behaved in a strange manner. He took the order without showing the leather. At last he could not contain himself and pointed toward the other shoes. He said that those were not my shoes. Means I have not maker of that shoes. Okay, and then what happened? Let's see. Uh, the tone was not one of anger, nor of sorrow, not even contempt, but there was in it something quite that froze the blood. He put his hand down and pressed a finger on the place where the left boot was not quite comfortable. So, as he told that they were not my boots, he said that, or he knew it hurt the author there. Means he knew that that boot hurt author, and he was right, and he was right. And actually, he told that all things author without anger, without sorrow, but in a different kind of tone, sorry. And that tone actually froze the blood, means really surprised the author, because he knows that Mr. Jesler was not like that only. He was the man who actually nurture the quality of the boots. Then see what happened. It urges you there, he said. Those big worms have no self-respect. And then, if as something had given way within him. Now, in this line, he said that it hurts you there, means when author tried to wear the shoes, which was purchased by another shop. It hurts you, he told like that. Those big firms have no self respect. And he told that those big shops have no self respect. And then, as if something had given way within him, he spoke long and bitterly. It was the only time I ever heard him discuss the condition and hardship of his trade. And at that time only he heard some hardship of his trade, means business. Okay, let's see what happened next. Um, they get it all, he said. They get it all, he said. They get it by advertisement, not by work. And he again told that, um, they get it by advertisement, means they got more and more customers by only advertisement, not by work. They not maintain the quality. They make it away from us. Oh, who love our boots? It comes to this. Presently, I have no work. Every year it get less. You will see. And now He told the really misery of his business, hardness of his trade. Okay, and what was that? He told that all the other shopkeepers don't have that respect, self-respect. They do only advertisement, not work. They take it away from us. They take it that customer away from us. Who love our boots will come soon to us. It comes to this. Presently I have no work. Every year it get less. Means every time, every year now our trade is in difficult. Means we are suffering from a difficult condition as our trade is decreasing day by day. It is because the fake companies make the advertisement lot, and they impresses the customers, and customers went there like that only. Okay, and then, and looking at his lean face, I saw things I had never noticed before. Means he was little bit worried, bitter things and bitter struggle. He was facing so much of bitter things and bitter struggle, and what a lot of gray hairs there seemed suddenly in his red beard. And he also, means author also saw that gray hairs there in his red beard. Okay, then as best I could, I explained the circumstances of these ill-omened boots, but his face and voice made so deep an impression that during the next few minutes I ordered many pairs. They lasted longer than ever, and I was not able to go to him for nearly 2 years. But what happened? As the Because of that circumstances of those Eloman boots, means that other boots rather than Jessler's shop, uh, made author to make an order for many pairs, and after that author didn't go there. He was not able to go for nearly 2 years in Jessler's shop. Students, I think we will see other remaining part in our next session. I think you are also curious to know about what happened with the Jessler shop and Jessler, right, students? So I want to teach you all the part in our next session. Okay, students, till then, have a nice day, take care.